of Conversations in Anarchy. Look at all these fabulous people that are joining us. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. So excited to have you all here. Look at all these fabulous faces. This is really wonderful. I'm really excited. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jessica Kill. I'm one of the producers on the team for Anarchapulco, and we're really excited to be going into our 6th year here, and we have some really exciting news today. So we're in actually our 12th week of Conversations in Anarchy, and we started Conversations in Anarchy to help eliminate the stigma of talking about anarchy and what anarchy really means, to help share some of the tools that we've been learning to live the most sovereign lives possible, and to help really strengthen the community of Anarchapulco. It's been really wonderful to see how it's been growing over the last 6 years, from 50 people on a weekend to now over 10 days, and expecting over 2,000 people. So just lots of really exciting things going on for this year. And this edition today is really for us to share what we're expecting at Anarchapulco this year, because every year it sort of changes a little bit, the team grows, new people come, and there's a lot of people who don't really know what to expect with Anarchapulco or how to make the most of their trip. From the speakers to the team members to people who've been every year to people who are new with us. And right now we have almost, I think, 500 people who are joining us this year who've never been to Anarchapulco. So we have like really built our audience. Our Facebook group has grown to like 30,000 people, which is a lot of people who don't know about anarchy or just learning about anarchy, or just learning that we're collaborating out here in the world and giving community. So, and out of that 30,000 people over the last 2 months, our newsletter subscription has grown by 2,000 people. 2,000 people that weren't on our list before, who didn't know about Anarchapulco, didn't know that we were all existing out here trying to make good things happen in the world. So that's the purpose of today's call, is really to give everybody a chance to connect, to see some people that they're going to see at Anarchapulco this year, to be able to ask questions and see what's going on. So I just, I'm going to give a quick shout out to some of the people I see who've joined us. We've got team members, we've got speakers, we've got some partners, we've got people from all over the world. We've got Christoph, you're coming in from Australia or New Zealand? New Zealand, yeah?
New Zealand.
Yeah, so we got New Zealand, we got people in Canada, we got people in the US. I know we got some people from Europe, some people from Asia. So I know it's very late in different parts in the world, so we're all very excited that you're here. I'm going to just give a special shout out to Adam, who is our tech wizard behind our live streaming here, because he helps.
You froze up a bit, Jessica.
Okay. Maybe I'll just turn off my picture for a second. There we go. Anarchy Cat says hello. Meet me in Anarchapulco. I want to give a special shout out to Adam Blaney, who is here, is joining us. He's our master of Restream. He helps us rebroadcast to Facebook, to YouTube, to Twitch, to DLive, and we're trying to take on new platforms as we can. So a special thank you to him for being here all these weeks and helping the magic. He's been really phenomenal, and he'll be joining us to help us live stream from Anarchapulco this year. So very happy to have him on the team. I am going to just kick it off right now and share the screen. Oops, wrong page, sorry. I mention the rebroadcasting because, Adam, if you don't mind, normally I moderate all our chats, but because I'm going to be focused on the screen today, if you could help just sort of pay attention to what's going in the Restream chat room, that would be really fantastic. So also, I'm very excited to announce that Jeff Berwick, our founder, should be joining us on the call today. So when I see him come on, I will make sure everybody says hello to him and that he has a chance to welcome everybody. So Here's a quick snapshot of the event. I'm just going to jump right into this because I know everybody's time is precious. But our theme for this year is evolve, and we're really excited about this terminology and what this means to us. And for us, it's talking about moving on from the place of anger and frustration of where we are, with the government and with the state and enslavement, and really taking back our power and really connecting to ourselves as individuals and as sovereigns who can live the most independent life possible in community with other people. So that's really what the motivation behind Evolve was for this year. And so we don't like to tell our speakers what to speak about. We hope that when they come to the stage, they will share with us their special message and how they've learned to evolve in their lives, or what tools they've learned to move past the anger and the frustration and to live successfully as a sovereign individual. So today we're going to really have a couple things to cover. We're going to talk about the vision and the mission of Anarchapulco and the vibe. We're going to hear from some of our speakers, who lots of them I see are on our call already. Very excited. Thank you so much for joining us. We have over 100 speakers speaking from 4 different stages this year. So really excited about that. We have some of our partners from Perpetual Assets to ECI that will be joining us. Very excited to have them on board, because without them, this isn't possible, really. They, our mission is really to bring this information to everybody, as many people as possible, and to keep the price low. And so having partners who help support us makes us pull off this event every year on essentially a shoestring budget. So thank you to them. We also have lots of our team members joining us. I'm really excited to introduce you to some of the people that are behind the scenes that help make this event happen. It's like over 50 people donate and volunteer and participate for little shekels to help us make sure that this event goes as smoothly as possible. So we'll say hello to some of the people on the team, and then we're going to talk about something special that we have this year called the Revive Clinic. It's essentially a walk-in clinic that's going to feature a number of alternative health practitioners. We're really excited to have that on board. Plus we have, as I mentioned before, we've extended our schedule for this year to include a pre-event retreat and a post-event retreat. So I'm going to talk about that. Plus we have some VIP dinners, our welcome fiesta, our opening night concert. It's going to be really exciting. We're going to show the hotel property for those who've never been there before. This will give you a little bit of an idea of what the property looks like and what to expect there. Plus, we're going to have the Fiesta Patio Marketplace with an open mic. This is the first time we're doing this this year, and we're really excited about this feature as well. Plus, we'll talk about some of the other events that are happening, including the Turtle Party, and then we have the Dollar Vigilante Summit that'll be happening. We're going to talk about some more about the live streaming. Last year we had, because we had so many stages and so many awesome things going on simultaneously, people forgot that you can't be in more than one place at the same time. So this year our answer is to live stream and to videotape our stages and to make that available to everyone. And then we're going to just talk about the tickets and how to make sure you got all the tickets that you need and that you're all taken care of and you're all sorted. So without further ado, for those who've just joined us, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody coming in from around the world, and just the love and the community that we've been building over the last several years. Really exciting to see everybody on this call, so thank you. For those who have not participated in Anarchapulco before, or sort of new to the party, I just want to take a moment to reiterate that to us, anarchy is the word from the Greek word meaning without rulers. So for us, it's not about chaos, it's not about disorganization, it's not about violence, it's all about sovereignty, individualism, the ability to live our lives as we see fit without hurting others. And interestingly enough, I'm getting a text from Jeff. He's not able to log into the call. David or Kat or Angel, if one of you could WhatsApp him or email him just to help him out, that would be great. And so, well, speaking of Jeff, his vision for Anarchapulco has been that the whole world live as anarchists, that everyone have access to this information, and that everyone be encouraged to live as sovereign individuals. So our goal with Anarchapulco is to create the space where everybody feels welcome, everybody feels like they can share, everybody can ask questions, everybody can commune and discuss about possible solutions. People can live these possible solutions. And that's really what the whole event is about sharing these talks with people who are living anarchy already and sharing their tools to successful life as an anarchist. So this is our 6th year. We're very excited about this. We've bought out the hotel. We're expecting over 2,000 people to attend. And we're just really excited for all the new people that are joining us and the people who've been with us before. We really want everybody to feel welcomed. And so thank you so very much for being here. So without further ado, I'm going to take a moment to introduce some of the team members. David, can you please unmute yourself and come on, join us. Tell us about your first time at Anarchapulco, and then tell us what it means to you to be on the team and what you're doing with us this year.
Hey, everyone. Thanks, Jessica, for hosting this and for leading, this great team here. This is my 6th year, 5 years in a row, my 6th year. My first year was awesome. I mean, just like some of you guys, we're tired of these tyrants trying to run our lives and tell us what to do. I have an innate right to my freedom, my birthright that God or the universe gave me. And so to get together that first year, like 100 people, maybe 120 people in a room, super disorganized event, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because we were focusing on the ideas and the community, and we're in a small little hotel, but we were there with each other, good parties. There was like maybe 2 musical acts or maybe 1, Rob Hustle there, which is a great hit. This is what happened when you call the cops. But the reason I attend is because I lost hope when Ron Paul got his election stolen in 2012. I had so much hope in Ron Paul. He's our guy, delivered 4,000 babies, and this moral man, this good guy, and they just kind of put him on the side. You're like, I wonder if the situation is rigged. So that was my big awakening. This whole thing is rigged. And then getting together and making new relationships. I got to meet Dana Martin that first year, Anna Prashanta, a bunch of other great people, because you guys are the visionaries. If you're on this call, listening to this live or afterwards, the speakers, you guys are the ones. So I'm just so grateful because we found each other through this conference. We found each other. Now we got to build the world. And I don't think I heard the phrase that particular year, maybe it was the next year, but it was the Buckminster Fuller quote. Never change reality by fighting against it. You got to create a new model that makes the old model obsolete. And so that started to become the theme each year, is that we can't, it's not the left-right paradigm. We have to transcend the state. How do you do it? That was the year also Ross Ulbricht, his case was going down, and they had a panel for him. I didn't know what that was. Bitcoin was like $600 or $700 at the time, and how much I wish I would have got in earlier. But learning, actually, Roger Ver gave me my first Bitcoins, like $5 worth of Bitcoin, and this is where I got hope. I got to make some new friends and create some alliances for the future, because this is intergenerational organized crime, what the state is. And so we got to create intergenerational freedom. And this is part of that awakening process. And, last couple of years, I was like the speaker liaison last couple of years, and now I'm doing more, producing the advocacy stage last year and doing the family camp with Angel this year, and all the support that's around me and you guys is wonderful, because one of the things we realize is that is no authority out there. We have to be the one who leads ourselves. I'm a principal of a private school, so I do accelerated graduations. I get kids out of the state indoctrination camps, the day prisons, effectively what they are. The history behind that's incredible. And so it's also about self-directed learning. Well, it's actually self-directed living, right? This is kind of where I see society going. And the vision of Anarchapulco is to do that, to be that catalyst, which, Jeff Berwick, thank you so much for starting this thing. So now we can start to take up our own projects and find relationships. So I'm really honored and excited. We're like 2 months away. So as we get closer, this is the event of the year for me. This is the event I don't miss, just because of all the good humans that are there. I mean, there's good solutions. And once you get together with people that understand this is organized crime and it's not, we don't want to change the king on the throne. We want to get rid of the throne. We want to take personal responsibility of our lives. And that's a big burden in of itself. So to find other people who are like-minded is one of the most exciting things. And there's a beach there. You can go swimming right on the beach. This is the third year we've had it at the Princess Hotel, which is so cool. So I just get so excited, get so much hope when I go to see all you awesome people live in the flesh in Acapulco, Mexico. And I'm so hopeful about what's happening here and look forward to seeing all of you as well.
Thank you, David. So your enthusiasm is so contagious, and I love it. And we're just so thankful that you're on the team and that you're a voice for freedom, because you bring so much to the table. So thank you for being here. Catherine, I know you're joining us from the car, but I'd love to introduce everybody to Catherine Bleish, who is a co-producer also this year and handles the health and wellness component with the Anarch Awaken stage. Catherine, I'd love it if you would tell us about your first time at Anarchapulco and what it means for you to be part of the team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for bearing with my car set. We had some internet issues at home, so I drove to a parking lot so I could be on with y'all. I came to Anarchapulco for the first time 2 years ago. I was a speaker on the health and wellness stage, and that year it was a pre-event experience. It didn't happen simultaneously with the rest of the conference. It was 3 days before the conference, and I had the most amazing experience of my life. I've been to almost every Liberty event that takes place in the United States many times, and I was getting bored. I felt like I wasn't learning new things anymore. I felt like I was seeing the same speakers, hearing the same rhetoric, and it wasn't pushing me forward. I wasn't leaving inspired. I was leaving tired. And I came down to Anarchapulco, and I had a completely different experience. It was transformational for me. I tried so many new things. I felt like being in a new country where I was speaking a different language. We stayed for 6 weeks on our first visit and then came down for 6 months, the second Anarchapulco we attended. It was so expansive for me to be immersed in a new language, to be around people from all over the planet who come to talk about anarchy. And the thing about Anarchapulco is it's full of anarchists. Where a lot of these other events, there's minarchists, there's big L, political party libertarians, and that's great, but that's not where I am anymore. So for me, coming to Anarchapulco was like finding my family, finding my tribe, finding my people. And I came home a transformed person. And I have been going through a process for the past 2 years, inspired in major part because of Anarchapulco. That first one I attended, it was a catalyst for me. And I began to transform. I began to deconstruct some of these institutions within myself that were keeping me a prisoner in my body, right? Because we all want to blame the government, and as you start to get down to the lowest common denominator, you realize that freedom really comes from within. And I was so inspired after my first year that I asked if I could help in any way, and I took on the health and wellness stage last year, and I'm doing it again this year. And for me, being a part of Anarchapulco, it is really just the greatest joy of my life right now. I love it. I love being a part of this team. I love working on a project that I'm really in alignment with 100% philosophically. There's nothing being presented that I feel like about, there's no like, let's kind of use the state for this or kind of use the state for that. It's all very consistent, and people are genuinely looking for ways to evolve, to become better human beings, and to work with one another in a new way, in a way that we've never experienced, having grown up on this planet that's really a trauma-based culture where we, you know, are sort of forced into compliance through the state, through the church, through family institutions, and interpersonal violence and violence in here and violence in here. And, you know, we really are, I think, aggressive toward ourselves when we are living in a trauma-based world and we haven't found the opportunity to heal. So Anarchapulco, for me, it's the package deal, the whole package. It's about family. It's about inner work. It's about health and wellness. It's about finances and resources and money. It's about institutions and recreating them, or just simply, you know, destroying them, or as opposed to destroying them, working around them, just living as if they don't exist and finding freedom in an unfree world. It's really a fantastic place and experience. My children love it. I love it. It's a great way to spend your winter, you know, if you're coming from the north, to really relax and unwind in the beach, at the ocean, with very like-minded people. For me, it feels like coming home, and I'm so blessed to be a part of it.
Well, thank you, Catherine. We're so lucky and appreciative to have your energy and your vision and your guidance on everything. You're a testament to what we're doing, and we really appreciate having you on the team. Speaking of the team, I see our fearless leader, Jeff Berwick. I see you there, and we'd love to have you say a couple words. I'd love to welcome you. I'm so happy that you're here. I know you're on the road and you've got lots of stuff going on, but it really would be great for everybody to sort of hear about how you came to Anarchy and what Anarchapulco means to you, and what your vision is for this year.
Hey, asking me how I came to Anarchy, are you? Where'd you get that one from? Well, I'm actually normally in Anarchapulco. I'm normally in Acapulco. As you can tell by what I'm wearing, I'm in a cold place. I'm in Aspen, Colorado right now, and actually just, you know, there's some good things up here. It's a total police state, and it's a third world country, but you can buy lots of cannabis stuff, so I bought a whole ton of cannabis stuff here, relaxed CBD stuff, bunch of joints. So that's good. But you know, even the decriminalization of cannabis sort of thing started by anarchists. People like Joby Weeks is a bit of hot water right now, but I don't think he's actually guilty of anything. But and also another person speaking at our event, he's from Colorado, I believe, originally as well, and lives in LA, I think, right now. And he was really one of the leaders in decriminalizing, legalizing cannabis. So that's good. As far as
That's Michael Bowman.
Yeah, Michael Bowman. Yeah, looking forward to having him on Anarchast soon. And how did I come to Anarchy? Well, I think looking back on things, that I was born an anarchist, a voluntarist. I was just confused until I was about 30 years old, wondering why things like government exist, wondering why people were okay with being extorted all the time. And it was actually Doug Casey who's speaking for the first time in Anarchapulco this year in 2020, who I had dinner with in Vancouver once, and very much like Larkin Rose's Candles in the Dark, he used a very Socratic method, and he asked me a number of questions, and he said, "What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" And all my answers were very voluntarist, and he said, "You know what you are, don't you?" And I said, "No." And he said, "You're a libertarian." And I had never actually heard that word. That was back in 2001 or 2002. And then he asked me a few more questions. He said, "You know what you are, don't you?" And I said, "No, what am I?" And he said, "You're an anarchist." And my response in 2002 was, "What, you mean those people who throw bombs?" I had never been exposed to the word, to the idea, to the philosophy. And that sent me down a rabbit hole that I've been on now for about 20 years, learning about all these things and starting to really kind of figure out how we can take these from just ideas into actual reality. And I think Anarchapulco has been a great platform for that, especially with, you know, in our first year, not many of you were there. I think David Rodriguez was there. I think almost everyone else wasn't there the first year. And everyone just ranted about how bad the government was. Most people wore black T-shirts. Everyone got really drunk, and we just hated the government and ranted about how we hated the government. And over the last 6 years, we've all been on sort of personal journeys of our own. Almost all of us have realized that in order to change the world, we have to change ourselves. And now, as Catherine just pointed out, Anarchapulco has become this incredibly empowering event where you can heal yourself physically, heal yourself mentally, heal yourself spiritually to some extent, and that would be becoming a true voluntarist and that sort of a thing. And learning about so many other things at the event, as you guys all know. So it's been quite a amazing few years, and I expect it's going to get just nothing but better and better as more and more people start discovering these things. We've essentially doubled in size every year since we started. So people are starting to get into this. I think we didn't do an exact poll, but it seemed like about 5 to 10% of people in 2019 weren't sure if they were voluntarists or anarchists when they arrived. They heard about this stuff. They heard some of the speakers, people like perhaps Larkin Rose or Jeffrey Tucker, many others, and they liked the ideas, but they weren't sure about it. And I talked to many, and they said by the end of the conference, not only were they voluntarists or anarchists, but the people they brought with them who knew nothing about any of this stuff were also voluntarists and anarchists. So I think, as David talks about quite a bit, it's about getting this information out there. And once people actually understand what we know, and we're kind of like the leading edge of people who understand this for whatever reason, sort of the first people kind of waking up to what's going on. The more that people understand this, the more that people, we get this information out there and they learn more, it's basically unstoppable, this idea that there's that saying that you can't stop a good idea. And this is the best idea. This idea is don't hurt or kill or steal from people. It sounds ridiculous that I have to say it, but apparently a lot of people have been brainwashed over the last few decades or centuries, and they didn't know that. And now we're kind of like re-waking them up to it. And as they wake up, they'll start to realize it's such a much better way to live. And the more people do it, the better world we'll have. And I think we will have that world. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, you repeat that because your mic was going out a little bit because you said this is the idea. That is so powerful. Can you say that again? I don't know if there's something covered your mic or something. Initially, your mic was working really good. I'm not sure if the mic is working now, but that was a really important thing what you just said. Hopefully, you can state the last couple sentences about it being the most important idea, and the audio will be there so everybody can hear that.
Oh, it's I don't know what's going on with the audio. I'm on my laptop. I also talk in a stream of consciousness, so I don't remember anything I just said.
No, that was beautiful. Just saying that you don't hurt people and you don't steal their stuff. That's what I heard.
Oh yeah, it's basically saying, it's shocking that people don't know this, but don't hurt anyone, don't kill anyone, don't steal. And the more that people understand that, like a 3-year-old kid does and should, it's unfortunate after they go to the government indoctrination camps for 12 years, the schools, as you know very well, David, they get brainwashed, they get mind controlled into believing, oh yeah, that's a pretty good idea not to hurt or kill or steal, except there's one group who should totally be able to do it, and they're the ones who run this school.
Well, Jeff, we're so happy that you took up the torch, that you helped build this lighthouse, and that you have been so open with your journey through life. One of the things that impressed me most was seeing you talk while getting an enema. So I feel like anyone who can do that in public, it really stands by what they say. And I think that's one of the biggest things too about this community is, and I think we go through a lot of, sort of understanding what the truth is and what your truth is, and how open you are to sharing that with everyone. And I love this quote by Marianne Williamson. I won't do it any justice because I don't have it completely memorized, although I cite it all the time. But essentially, by allowing your own light to shine, you give permission for others to shine. And I think that's one of the biggest things that you've started with Anarchapulco that I appreciate the most about what we're doing here and what I constantly remind the team about. Because by us walking in the light, it allows other people to see what the light is and to walk the walk as well. So I'm very excited that you're on the call today. Thank you so much. I know it means a lot to everybody that you're here, that they support you, and that you support everybody in what we're doing. So thank you for that. I'm going to share the screen again and just give some highlight a little bit more to some of the other team members, because this event does not happen without the help of lots of people here. And I see some of the people are on the call, and we have some new team members this year who aren't recognized on this sheet yet because they haven't submitted their phone or their photos. And not necessarily does everybody want to have their photo published, and we respect everybody's choice to present themselves how they want. But you've heard from some of the members today. I see that we've got Luigi on the call. I think Julio, who's part of Free Knots, is on the call. Kelsey and Leandrew, who have been helpful with the website from the beginning. They're an amazing duo. They're in the middle of a move today. I see Michael Nimitz, who's part of Anarchapulco 365, is on the call, and he sort of holds down the fort in Acapulco. Anybody who's new to Anarchapulco or new to Acapulco has any questions about what to do there or how to move there, Michael is your guy. I think Victoria Clements, who's on, she's our Director of Partnerships. So we have a lot of people who are on our team that are on the call today. Also, we have Angel Robinson, who is a new member this year. She came on to help with editing the book, The Anarchist Guide to the Galaxy with David. And by the way, just a tremendous effort by David and Angel on the book. So appreciative of that. And then Angel sort of got suckered into, and hopefully helpfully so, or gleefully so, into helping us create our blog program with Catherine. She's been doing some editing on that. She's been doing some writing, and she's also been doing some videos and some of the live broadcasts on Sundays, and also is helping with the Free Your Family Camp this year. Angel, would you please tell us a little bit about your first time to Anarchapulco and what it means for you to be on the team?
Hey, yeah, for sure. Hey, everybody. It's so good to see you all, and some of the familiar faces and some new faces as well. Hey, Becca. Last year was my first year at Anarchapulco as an attendee, and it was fantastic. I went by myself to Mexico. No plans to meet anyone there or anyone that I knew. I just figured I would show up and my people would be there, and that is exactly what happened. I've been an anarchist for a really long time, and in this whole world for something like 13 years. So, I mean, if there is a Ron Paul video somewhere on the internet, I have seen that shit. I have seen all of the speakers and all of the videos, and I've been consuming and consuming and consuming. So for me, really, Anarchapulco, we have all of these great speakers, and I'm so glad to see a lot of new faces too, introducing new ideas, new topics. So I'm really excited about that. But a big part of why I go is because I love to play, and I love to meet people. I love to connect, and I love to connect with the sorts of people who make me feel like I'm not alone, and who make me feel like there's beauty in the world. And I find that in the conversations that I have with people, I can see that the people who I'm talking to really care about something, and that's beautiful to see, and are thoughtful about the things that they care about as well. And that's really meaningful to me too, because you can care about a lot of things, but if you're not coming up with good solutions because you won't take the time to really think things through, then it's all for naught. And so that's really one of my favorite things about Anarchapulco, just the quality of the people that I come into contact with, and I get to dance with them, and I get to chat with them and have lunch with them. And I remember last year, some of my favorite things were the turtle party, which was fun, just sitting around the campfire and people on the beach, and Jeff with his freestyle, and and it's just community. It felt like family. And so that's a big part of why I go, in addition to the learning and what have you. This year, I am going to bring my family. I'm going to be bringing my little ones and not so little ones. And so I'm really excited about my part in planning the family camp activities. Thank you, David, so much for welcoming me and letting me share in all of your glory with this Free Your Family Camp stuff. It's so great to be targeting families. I'm always trying to think about how I can share my principles with my kids in a way that's not obtrusive. I don't want to propagandize my kids. I want them to learn from the community. And so I'm really glad that this is a space that we are providing, that y'all are providing, that allows for me to bring them in and have them immersed in ideas and have them thinking and have them hearing. And having them see beautiful people. I'm going to come up with some cool ideas, some cool activities for your kids to be doing while you are at the conference and enjoying people. We want everyone to have a great time there. And so I'm spending a lot of time thinking about how to do that. There's so many things I'm excited for. I'm really excited for the plant ceremonies, and I'm excited for the idea that people are doing them, because I know it's the kind of thing that grows people. I love how much of what we are providing is about helping you evolve. Dun, dun. It's the theme this year, and that's really what's happening. And I know I've talked to a lot of people, and we're all feeling it, that we're going through this evolution. Particularly now, there's something in the air, and so tapping into it with people you love is great. So I can't wait to be at Anarchapulco 2020. I hear there's going to be a lot of boys there too, so I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, that was my first. Last year was my first year. This is my second year, and I'm happy to be engaging in it and giving and putting all of my light into this and sharing it with the rest of you.
Well, thank you so much, Angel. We're really so happy to have you on the team to help us be able to articulate better in the written word what our messaging is, and to help, especially every week on Conversations with Anarchy, giving the perspective that you give, and being so welcoming and open to all the people, whether they're new or have been with us for a while. So thank you for being on the team. We really appreciate it. I want to just jump into now what the schedule is going to sort of look like. I'm sharing the screen. It sort of says the same information, sort of two different ways. I know people pick up stuff in different ways, but the event has grown tremendously from sort of a one afternoon to now, we're basically, the core is a 4-day event, but we've expanded it with our pre and post-event retreats. So we're essentially a 10-day event this year. So from February 10th to the 12th, we're going to have the Anarch Awaken Movement Retreat, or the pre-retreat. It's going to be led by Misty and her team from the Groove Movement team. And we have a number of our speakers and community members participating and leading different fractions of this, which we're going to talk about more at the end of this conversation. So that's February 10th to the 12th. Then February 11th and 12th, we're also going to have the Dollar Vigilante Summit. So that's the 2-day TDV Summit, which was that's spearheaded by Jeff and his team at the Dollar Vigilante. Then February 13th to the 16th is the Anarchapulco main event. So that's when you'll see the main stage plus the other 3 stages, which we'll discuss in another second. And then February 17th to the 19th, we're going to have the post-event retreat, which is really going to be focusing on like integration, like being prepared to go back to the world with all this newfound energy and information, and the best ways to share that with the rest of the world. Plus, we're going to have our Candles in the Dark workshop, and a couple other little things here and there that we'll be posting about. So that's sort of a snapshot of sort of how the 10 days are going to look. The Anarchapulco ticket is good to be on the property for February 13th to the 16th. If you want to come for the retreat or stay afterwards for the other retreat or attend the Dollar Vigilante Summit, those are extra ticketed items. So, and we'll get more into that shortly, but just to give everybody a little idea of what the 10 days is going to look like. So speaking of the main component of Anarchapulco, we're going to have 4 stages with over 100 speakers. We're going to have the main stage, which will feature the whole spectrum of topics. Then we're going to have Cryptopulco, which will focus solely on crypto technology, Bitcoin technology, the blockchain, everything in that sort of realm. Then we have the Anarch Awaken stage, which is focusing on all things physical and mental health and well-being. And then we have the Free Your Family Camp, which is also sort of going to share with the advocacy stage. And the Free Your Family Camp is going to be all about things for couples and for children and parents and sort of the family unit, however you see your family unit. And so we're really excited. We did get some feedback on this last year that it's hard for people to be in more than one place at the same time. We totally get that. So this year we're focused on filming each stage. And so we're going to have a video package that is especially offered to those who buy an adult ticket. You'll be able to get the video package at a discounted price. So you'll be able to see after the event any of the talks that you might have missed. Also, if it turns out that sadly you're not able to attend Anarchapulco, we will be live streaming. We will live stream the Dollar Vigilante, and we will live stream the main stage. Unfortunately, at this time, we don't have all the resources yet to live stream all the stages, but hopefully as we grow in the next couple of years, we will have the capacity to do that. So moving right along to some of the speakers, these are some of the speakers that we have for the main stage, and I do see that we have a number of our speakers on the line with us. I'd like to just call on some of them. I see Richard Gage. You've been so patient. We'd love for you to say hello and just give us like a one minute about what you're going to be talking about. I know you can talk for many hours about your topic and it's super important, but if you'd love to just say hello and give us a snapshot, that'd be great. Oh, and you're on mute. Here, let's see if we can unmute. There you go. You're unmuted.
Hello. It's awesome to be invited here to Anarchapulco. Really, I've been an architect 30 years, a member of the American Institute of Architects, and the founder of Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. Now, we have 3,000 architects and engineers signed on to the petition demanding a new investigation into the destruction of all 3 World Trade Center skyscrapers on 9/11. So with the time that we have at Anarchapulco, I'll be introducing people to the 3rd skyscraper that collapsed on 9/11, and that'll be Building 7. Came down in 7 seconds at free fall acceleration, just like the old controlled demolitions, right? Well, it was a controlled demolition. The evidence shows just that. And we'll be going into that evidence and a little bit on the Twin Towers too, which of course are also very explosive demolitions, and why it's so important for freeing our minds that we all understand and share with everybody what really happened on 9/11, which generated wars, a $6.5 trillion global war on terror, and of course manipulating the people of the world, particularly those of us in the United States, into supporting these wars and the rape of our economy, really, and creating a surveillance state that we all now just take for granted almost 20 years later. Oh, yeah, they're listening to us. We all know. So we're in prisons in our own bodies, as it was said earlier. So I'm just delighted to give this case study, which is what 9/11 is, a case study in the massive enslavement of ourselves and our countrymen.
Well, thank you, Richard, for being here. We so appreciate it. We're very excited to have you on the stage. Also, for anybody who missed it, Jeff did a great interview with Richard. You can catch it on the Anarchast. It's definitely worth checking out before hitting Anarchapulco. So thank you, Richard, for being here. I see not Governor Patrick, you're here. I would love it if you would say hello and give us a one-liner about what you'll be talking about.
Hello, one-liner. That's difficult for me. So I guess I'm an activist sort of all over the place. I have pushed guillotines up the steps of courthouses to set public servants straight. I have, on an annual basis, threatened police with hundreds of armed men to feed the homeless. I have written cryptographic security extensions for use on Facebook to keep your communications private. I organize one of the world's largest groups of voluntarists here in Dallas, Texas. But I think the most powerful, effective form and method of activism that I have found yet is quite simply peaceful parenting. And so this year, my talk on the main stage will be about exactly that. I think peaceful parenting, much like anarchy, tells the world what we don't want. I think it tells the world, we don't want force and coercion, and especially not spanking in our parenting. I find, though, that it doesn't go far enough to tell people what we do want, especially the people wanting to be good parents. It doesn't tell people what to do. And so that's what my talk this year will be about on the main stage. It will be about what comes after just acknowledging that we don't want to hit our kids. It's going to be about the tools that we do use to raise our kids in a principled way, in a voluntarist way, to create the world that we want to see in the real world in our home first, so that when our kids grow up and they get to the real world, they're going to see all this insanity that we live with on a daily basis as being just that, as insane. And then I think, lastly, I'll say that I have a situation with my daughter. She's been diagnosed with leukemia. We've been going through treatments with her for 2 years. And I bring that up only to point out that to be able to apply voluntarist principled parenting in this scenario, to have lived for the past 2 years through my daughter's treatment without ever having forced her to do anything, it's like it's putting it through the fire. It's taking principled parenting and it's testing it in the worst possible case scenario. And me and my wife have learned a lot of lessons from this experiment, from this experience on principled, peaceful parenting in one of the worst scenarios. And I want to share as much of what I've learned with as many people that would like to hear it as I possibly can. So that's what I'm about, and hopefully what I'll be talking on.
Well, thank you, Patrick, so much for sharing that. Our good vibes to you and your family and your daughter through this. And we're very excited to have you be with us even during this time and to share your knowledge. It's fantastic. It's more of what we need of. And speaking of peaceful parenting and architecture, we also have Christophe Melchizedek. And I'm so sorry, Christophe, if I always pronounce your name differently every time, but would love for you to just say hello. You're going to be a speaker on the main stage. You have a couple things going on with us. Plus, you've sort of helped us architect some of the future of Anarchapulco, and would love for you to just say hello about your work with us.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you all, and excitedly as we transition through this portal into Anarchapulco. It's coming on the horizon quite quickly. So the first piece I would love to share is that I guess the key for me to resolving many of the world's issues is one thing: consciousness. When people have an expanded consciousness, they see much better through the issues, the root cause of issues, into wider solutions. When you're looking at life through a straw and you're not examining belief systems that you were born into, you always end up going in a sort of a circle that is simply just creating more of the same. What I love about anarchy is that people here are truly examining their belief systems and are saying, is this mine? Is this aligned to my values? And so I'm here really to be supporting the evolution in consciousness for the event and for the series of events that was to come as we begin to architect our own evolution. And so I love what Jeff said at the beginning, is that we only change the world by changing ourselves. And essentially, this is what I will speak into here, is that the evolution of consciousness, what is consciousness, and how you can expand your consciousness to reconnect with greater aspects of yourself. Your mind is not something that is in your head. Your mind stream, your higher mind, is the aspect of your consciousness still stationed in the higher dimensions. As you reconnect with these greater aspects of the totality of who you are, you come to every situation with more illumination, more potentiality, and more possibility. And then you enter coherence, and coherence is the rhythm of the universe, so that you can enter flow state. And when you enter flow, life just works. So I'll be sharing a lot on the main stage about soul psychology and about the evolution of consciousness. I believe I'm also on the family stage, and I'm this year also, for the first time, inviting my wife, and my two children will be joining me. So I'm excited to bring them here for the family camp, and Alea and I will be sharing information and direct experiences in conscious parenting, including how to integrate souls into earth, how to bring aspects of their higher consciousness and make them more fully embodied. And I also agree with the gentleman speaking before that conscious parenting, peaceful parenting, is the absolute fabric and cornerstone of building a new earth, because our children and their fragmented consciousness that the current society is creating, and the division with internally, creates these iterations and projections as they come into adulthood. So that is really the cornerstone. And of course, I'm helping architect the opening ceremony and closing ceremony. So for this year, many of you will experience a very high frequency stream of energy that the opening circle or the opening ceremony will provide. It's going to be something a little different this year. So we're excitedly in production for that. And I think you're going to enjoy it very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Christoph. You bring so much to the table and have been such a great supporter of what we're doing. And we really appreciate your energy and wisdom through this process, and love having you on the team. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for what you're doing.
I also see that we have Chad, who is going to be joining us on the main stage. He has a very interesting story for those of you who haven't caught him. Chad, I hope you'll be able to turn on your microphone and join us for a second. Chad was seasteading off the coast of Thailand and was bow-guarded, and now sort of on the run with that, and but still is envisioning a way for us all to be able to live freely, whether it's on land or in sea. And so, Chad, I would love it if you would maybe just say hello and tell us about what you'll be sharing from the stage. I saw you there for a second. I don't know, maybe can you unmute? Well, if Chad's not able to join us, unfortunately, I saw that he was there. Maybe he's having a tech difficulties sort of come in and out. If you haven't seen his story, he also did a great interview with Jeff on Anarchast, so you can catch it there. So you can see the level of talks that we're going to be having from the main stage. Everything from Dale Brown talking about how to handle threats. He's got a company called Threat Management. We've got Luke Rudikowski. We have Pyasa, Neko Siff, who will be talking. We've got Angel Clark. We've got some really great freedom advocates from the press, including Dan Dix and Carrie Wedler. We've got Del Bigtree, who will be joining us again this year on the main stage. Last year, he joined us on Anarch Awaken. We've got Larkin Rose. Amanda Rose will be speaking for the first time from the main stage. Also, I'd be remiss not to mention that Benny Wills will be returning this year as our MC. Very excited to have his voice helping us through this event. We've got James Corbett joining us, Doug Casey, like Jeff mentioned. Freeway Rick Ross has a fascinating story. Sherry Peel Jackson, who was a former IRS agent and then started speaking the truth, was arrested and is now is free, and so she'll be joining us. Then we also have, of course, Ron Paul and John McAfee, just to name some of the few. We still have some people that we're confirming. So all stuff still, there's some things that are still pending, but we've got a really great start to a fabulous main stage for this year. Then we have the CryptoPoco stage. I'm not sure if any of our CryptoPoco speakers are on the call right now. We've got Naomi Brockwell will be our MC. We're super excited to have her be the voice and the face of CryptoPoco this year. She's a dynamo in the space. Lots of people know who she is. The stage is going to be managed by Erica Gemma of the Blockchain Center out of Miami. Very happy to have her and her team helping us. Raphael Laverde, who's on the Crypto Vigilante team. If you don't know, Jeff has also started the Crypto Vigilante. So he has the Dollar Vigilante and the Crypto Vigilante. And Raphael Laverde will be speaking from the Crypto Vigilante team. Nick Spanos will be speaking. We've got Brock Pierce, Bix Weir, Michael Turpin and his team will be there. Jason King just did a great interview on Anarchast as well. So we have a great lineup, and I'd be remiss not to mention Joby Weeks. We're holding a space for him in hopes that he'll be able to join us. For those of you who don't know, he was kidnapped by the government earlier this week, and so hopefully he'll be able to join us. If not, we'll have a representative there to speak about his journey. He's been a Bitcoin and crypto evangelist since the beginning. In fact, he told me about crypto at $5. So sadly, I didn't listen to him at that time. I didn't listen until it was $500, but still, there you go. Then we have the Anarchawaken stage. Kat, if you're able to, maybe you could just jump in and give a little highlight to some of the speakers that will be speaking on the Anarchawaken stage. And I think some of your speakers are on the call.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if I can see who's on the call. I'm looking on the chat in here. So on the call, we have Christoph, who's going to be speaking. Last year, Christoph packed the house on the health and wellness stage. I mean, it was just standing room only, wall to wall. People were captivated. And then when he went to go walk into the hallway, he was mobbed. So I highly suggest that you come watch him speak. I know he's speaking on several stages, and I really appreciate what he has to contribute with the energy and frequency, vibrational stuff that he has going on. Del Bigtree is speaking on our stage again last year. He's also speaking on the main stage last year. He was another one that just, I mean, the room erupted in applause. If you have seen the documentary Vaxxed, he is featured in that, and he is very knowledgeable about all things vaccines. Dr. Evelyn Veras, she is a repeat speaker as well. She is a doctor out of Guadalajara, and she is going to be talking about G-spot activation and the vagus nerve and how important it is for women's health, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, that they are capable of having vaginal orgasms. And she kind of stumbled on this accidentally and has really become a pioneer in this space. Dr. Matthew Buckley, who is running the practitioner space, this man literally saved my life. I was bit by a brown recluse almost 4 years ago, and the emergency room, the mainstream doctors, they could not help me. They couldn't figure out what to do. And with Dr. Buckley's guidance and expertise, I was able to begin the process of really healing my body. And I am forever grateful for him. I have watched him transform the lives of so many activists in Austin. He really walks the walk, and he really supports the people who he is working with and who are like-minded, and I'm so excited that he is joining us. We have some new speakers this year who I'm really excited about. Lily is going to be speaking, Lily Devine, Lily Forrester, she is going to be speaking about the carnivore diet, which is kind of a contrast compared to previous years. We've had a lot of vegan conversations going on, and for myself, this is really exciting and interesting to talk about, because I was a vegetarian for 17 years. And because of my interactions with Anarchapulco speakers, Missy, who's doing the opening retreat and does the dance, the groove movement stuff. She came on one of our Conversations in Anarchy shows about a month ago, and we were talking about eating and we were talking about health, and it was such a transformational conversation for me that I actually started eating meat for the first time in almost 2 decades, and my blood sugar has gone down into the normal level. I mean, my experience in the past month with transforming my diet has been profound. There are no words other than profound for this experience that I am having with changing the way I'm eating. So I'm really excited for Lily to talk about the carnivore diet, which she's been on for over a year, and it has transformed her health as well. Stephanie Weeks, who is the wife of Joby, she is hopefully going to still be joining us despite what's going on with Joby. We're hoping that she'll still be here, and she's going to be talking about protecting children from radiation, which is a really important topic because, you know, we all have these phones with us everywhere, and, you know, airplanes and all of these different places that we're exposed to radiation, and there are a lot of health ramifications. Another one I'm really excited about is Heather Marie Eland, and she is out of Colorado. She recently moved there from Sedona. She was in Austin before that, and she's a medical astrologer, and this is so interesting to me. One of the things I learned from her, and you know, this I'm not an astrology expert, but one of the things I learned about her is that there are different places on the planet that are best for people to live based on their astrology at their birth. And for me, Santa Fe looks like a really great place, and Acapulco is actually on a line for happiness for me. And when I am there, I feel so happy and so amazing. And so I'm really excited to hear more about what she has to say, because, I mean, if the moon creates waves in the ocean and women's cycles sync up to the moon, why would other objects that are rotating around the sun with us not have an impact on our body, right? If we are made of almost all water, and the moon, which is a smaller, you know, astrological being, has such a huge impact on our bodies and on our planet, wouldn't the rest of the universe have an impact on us as well? So I'm really excited to hear from her. We have a whole lineup of practitioners and doctors who are going to be speaking this year, which I am really excited about, because this is going to be bringing just a new caliber of expertise and energy to our health and wellness stage. We've had doctors in the past, but this year, I would say about half of our speakers are doctors. So this is going to be really neat. Some of the things that are going to be discussed include muscle testing. There's going to be a workshop on muscle testing, which I am really, really interested in. 2 of Dr. Buckley's mentors are actually going to be coming and speaking and working in the practitioner space. And if he learned from them, I know that we have a lot to learn from them as well, because he has had such a great impact on my life. So that's just a little highlight of what is going on the Anarch Awaken stage. I am feeling really excited about it. I think that this is going to be a groundbreaking year. You're going to be able to come and learn all sorts of things. We've got, you know, meditative stuff about red light therapy, about the different types of frequencies that we can be exposed to. There's the, oh gosh, it's not the Rife machine, but the, it's one of
the Beamer.
Yes, the Beamer machine. And I mean, this is fantastic, phenomenal information that can allow us to really take our health into our own hands. And that is what we're trying to provide here in the Anarch Awaken ecosystem on our stage, is we are trying to facilitate a learning experience that will empower you so that you walk away feeling like you have some action items and some things that you can do to start reclaiming your health, your mind, your body, your soul. And then, of course, we have the practitioner space. Do you want me to discuss that as well right now, Jessica?
No, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I do see that we have Les Feinberg on the call. Les, I don't know if you're open to maybe turning on your camera or at least unmuting yourself and saying hello. Are you there, Les? We'll just give him a second to catch up to us. Les, if you're there and you could jump in and say hello, that'd be great. But he's one of the practitioners that will be in the Revive Clinic, and he'll be speaking from that stage. I guess he's not able to hear us or join us right now. Thank you for that debrief, Catherine. I really appreciate it. David, I would love for you to talk about the speakers on the Free Your Family Camp stage. And I know we have Becca on the call, and I think also maybe Jason, so maybe we can call on them to say hello as well.
Yes, I'm super excited. This is the second year we've held the Free Your Family Camp because, you know, the first few years is kind of like individuals and different people, you know, permanent travelers getting together. But once we start to see that this plan that they have for global enslavement is serious, Agenda 21, and these kind of things, it's intergenerational. And so we want to empower the mother, the father, the child. Most importantly, is a few of us that agree about peaceful parenting. We have to bring the voluntary world into our houses and actually demonstrate that. And that's difficult because we all went through the compulsory school system for 15,000 hours, 12 years. And so coercion was just enforced on us. You know, after age 6 to age 18, we have all these strangers telling us what to do. So we want to empower parents and parents that be, single people, everyone like that. So for your family camp, and I'm going to call, I see Jackie's on the line. I see Jason here, Becca, and Christoph. So, but the point is to empower the whole family, make it a family unit. And so we did hear from Christoph. So if you don't want to say anything about that, Christoph, we can go to Jason. But Jason, if you would maybe share a little bit about kind of maybe who you are and maybe just kind of a short kind of introduction and maybe some of the stuff you'll be talking about. If you have your microphone there.
Yeah, where's the unmute? Okay, yeah, thank you for unmuting me. Really pleasure to be here tonight. I know I got on a little late. I'm really excited to come down and experience this. My talk's going to be on how to overcome self-sabotage. We're going to cover how the subconscious mind works and how it's a pre-recorded narrative that we sort of stick to even in our own demise. If the subconscious mind is something that finds safety and security in the predictable, and that predictability has been proven, it can make us miserable, it can make us depressed. And because it's something that we're used to, something that's familiar, we're more apt to stick with what's making us not live our best life. And it takes a lot to sort of hack the subconscious mind because it controls 95 to 99% of our behavior. And we're going to go over the solutions and point out some real classic, case studies so that the average person can really dive in and understand that this is a big problem. Everything from Tiger Woods to Michael Vick to the lady who buys a home treadmill, who doesn't use it, who joins Planet Fitness and never goes. These are the sort of topics that we're going to cover and really open the mind up so that people can learn how to reprogram, and they're going to have to learn how to really move toward their best life, because when it comes down to the subconscious mind, it'll always pick predictability over happiness. So we're really going to try and give people the tools so they can pursue happiness in the face of fear that will always come when you try and change your life for the better.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to have you, Jason, because you're also very healthy. You have some health businesses. And so we're going to move from, maybe numbing ourselves with substances, but potentially an addiction, and be and live a powerful life, our best life, as you said. So we're really grateful that you're going to be coming down. Thank you for sharing. And next, I'd like to maybe invite TJ Mars. I see you there, sir. This is the first year we're going to have some legal experts, and I consider TJ to be one, and also Jackie Fig, because the courts is where they're harming families through CPS. Nova Um's going to be talking to, she's one of the experts who is an unschooling mother, and she actually defeated CPS, but she did that with community. We're going to learn a little bit about her story. But TJ uses powerful techniques. And I'll let you introduce yourself, TJ, because I'm learning about your skills and what you bring. But you've been doing this for a long time. If you want to share a little bit about who you are and maybe some of the things you're going to be talking about on the family camp stage.
Okay. Well, I never imagined in 1983 when I read George Orwell's 1984 that the next year was coming so soon. And it really was. And we've evolved into a society that's easily manipulated, which is what that was all about, how we can control on a mass scale. And we spend most of our life in fear. And if you're a Bible believer, or if you've even just read it, just understood the lessons taught in it, fear is the thing that controls us. The devil only exists because of his ability to create fear. Well, our legal system today is nothing but a system of fear because it's gotten so far away from this little thing called the Constitution. And we teach, and of course we turn around and we teach our kids to go get a license to drive, go get a license to get married, go get a license to do things that you're free to do already anyway. How did we get here? But if you'll never know how we got here if you understand the history of it. Benjamin Franklin said when he came out of the first Congress, "I gave you a republic if you can keep it." Mm-hmm. What he was talking about is each individual understanding what their rights are and how to exercise those rights. And we don't know how to do it. So my goal is to teach people how to empower themselves. We called our website yourlaw.org because you are the source of the law. We, the people, formed the government, not the other way around. And we all run around in fear of these people. But in reality is they work for us. I call them serve ants. They're smaller than you. Okay? And that doesn't, I don't mean to put them down, but you need to remember who you are. We, the people, formed a government. That made us sovereigns over that government. Doesn't mean we don't have to follow laws. That's not what I mean at all. But we can't let this control us. We need to control it. And if the first inclination you have is to call a lawyer instead of look something up yourself, you're in trouble because you're depending on other people. We're all about independence, standing on your own 2 feet, and teaching your kids and your family, know how to read this darn little thing. It's not that hard to understand. It gave us a great amount of power. We're one of the unique nations ever on the planet to have access to something like this, but we're losing it. We're losing it fast. You watch what's going back on right now in Washington, D.C. You watch how rights are just being stripped away every day. But we don't have to let that happen. If we're true anarchists, it's because we just want to be free and left alone. That's all. And so we have to be in control. So what we try to teach people how to empower themselves, everything from a traffic ticket to, dealing with CPS, dealing with any kind of government agency that comes after you. There's a lot of things you can do to protect yourself in a very sound, intelligent way. And that's how we get the peace of this world back, is when we take control. Stop letting other people rule your lives. It's all voluntary. Right. Stop doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah, if they stayed to that document, we would be in a great shape. But these criminals and banksters and the military industrial complex and all these opportunists, these crony capitalists come in there, and now they're hurting people, killing people for decades and for generations. So I'm really grateful you're coming as well, because you're showing people how to empower themselves. And I think some of your teaching is not even to hire a lawyer, be your own lawyer, because these lawyers don't even know what they're doing. Part of the bar association and that cartel they had going on.
I'll ask the magic question: How many licensed lawyers do you know? And the answer is 0, because none of them even have licenses. It's just a private club.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What do we all think when I said that? So that's my point. You got to understand. You want to get out of the matrix? You got to get out of the matrix, like Neo did at the end.
Yes.
Then you're in control.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to hear you and meet you in person. I see Jackie Fig. If you want to turn your mic on too, Jackie, I'll get to you in a second here. But let's see if Becca wants to join us. Becca spoke on the main stage last year talking about intimacy and the whole, like the sacred divine. And she's a really, really wonderful soul. And if Becca, you want to say hello, maybe what you'll be speaking about here on the FamCamp stage, and introduce yourself to some of the newcomers.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. So happy to be here, and my gratitude to the whole Anarchapulco team to pull off this major event. A focus of my work is relationship. It's relationship with the masculine and feminine within us, And then, of course, in terms of a movement, it's relationship. Like I've worked in community organizing for decades, and I know that, okay, we have our adversaries, the corporations, the government, whatever, but usually what sinks our campaigns are our ability to communicate with each other and be able to work together. So I work in that in terms of the community aspect, and in terms of the personal aspect, I work in sexuality, because my investigation of how what I call the dominator system works is it's a trauma-based mind control system. And one of the main ways to traumatize people is in their sexuality. So the whole thing about shame and guilt. And by installing those programs around what is our really one of the most joyous expressions of the life force, is to keep us away from being sovereign beings, able to circulate our own life force energy, our own chi, our own prana, and power ourselves through our lives with shame and guilt and power over and all the dysfunction that comes how we're raised to not be able to communicate, not the masculine doesn't trust the feminine and vice versa. So I haven't finalized what I want to do in the family camp, but I'm leaning toward working with parents, looking at, of course, our sexuality, and then how we use manipulation with each other and so forth, the way most of us were raised. Because I mean, I worked as a doula, I'm a home birther, I'm a homeschooler. That's how I raised my son. So I feel pretty strongly about creating a free environment for children. And what I had to learn, and I'm still learning, is freeing myself of codependence in my relationships. So I really pick apart the different aspects of ourselves that we surrender to some false idea we have on what we need to have a happy relationship. I really work on taking these barriers down because it truly is, evolution must start within ourselves. So I'm willing to go into the sexual aspect of it, even though it's been made taboo in so many of our religions and cultures, because I really think it's key. If we have access to free-flowing life force energy, we can become the greatest people that we want to be, and we model that for our children.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And sorry to interrupt you, David, but I just want to give a special recognition to Becca, who is really, I can't say enough good things about her. She's critical to the team. She's been very helpful to me personally in regards to my own personal life, but then also in my involvement with Anarchapulco. She's been instrumental for a lot of people on the team, and her wisdom in regards to collaborating and building community. She's also a member of the Love and Healing Committee, which we've formed. It has not taken all wings yet because there's a lot going on, but one of the things we really realized, and I think this is probably more from my realization last year, is that, and just to touch on what almost every speaker has spoken about tonight, is trauma and hurt. And there's a lot of hurt and trauma throughout the world. And what I've experienced with the Anarchapulco community is that I think more than any group of people on the planet, we sort of wear our emotions on our sleeves. We're very emotionally driven. We're very triggered. We want the change. We're angry and frustrated by the systems that, enshackle us. And, a big part of what we're all doing here now is learning to work through those emotions and get to the peaceful state so we can actually affect change. And Becca has really been critical to that. And I just want to give her a special acknowledgement and say thank you very much for being here. It means a lot.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and an honor. I mean, we're all building the world together. We need all of us.
That's right. Absolutely. And I just want to kind of relink with what you're talking about, Becca, about the sex thing. Like, many of us were raised in Christian households, and so we didn't even get the sex taught, or we learned through pornography, we learned through movies. And as we discovered, that's not how real life is. That's not how real love is. And so the other aspect of it is that the life force, the orgasm, but Napoleon Hill calls sexual transmutation. There's high energy in that. So whether you express it with your lover or you transmute it into something else, how to actually communicate your needs and even speak these things, right? Like you mentioned, shame and guilt. It's like, well, if I'm not comfortable with my body, how can I communicate to another person if they're not comfortable with their body? So such an important topic. I think you're going to help a lot of people with those words and some of the lessons, and you have a book as well. So really cool things to offer to the stage.
My main points is that the dominator system, which isn't for me just the state, it's the whole culture, and it's an organized system. They know that. They know they can control us, because if they can get us not to go to the root, literally the root chakra, where our life force energy springs from, they can keep us out of there by covering it up with taboo and shame and guilt, and you're wrong and you'll be damned and go blind and whatever. If they can keep us out of there, they keep us out of our full potential. And so I'm saying it's not an accident, it's on purpose. And so an anarchist crowd is like, so last year I felt so well received, because they're like, oh yeah, right, well, that's something I can work on, and it's fun.
Absolutely. Liberating other humans is so exciting and fun. And then you can learn about ourselves and our bodies, and maybe have some good times with lovers or whoever people you choose, and express yourself. So thank you for joining us on the stage there. Next, I did see Jackie opened up the microphone and video. Thank you very much. So Miss Jackie Fig is also one of the legal experts, and I mentioned Mr. TJ Mars, but CPS isn't playing around. And with the forced vaccine issues, I'm in California. They did that 5 years ago. New Jersey's going through something right now. These pharmaceutical cartel, along with the state, they're going for our children, and they're trying to break us up and put them off of their adoption agency. And so that's one reason I brought Jackie. But she's also been doing this for over 10 years, consulting people. So Jackie, if you want to just introduce yourself and share some of the ideas or topics that you might be sharing with us in Anarchapulco.
Sure. I want to apologize about my voice. I'm pretty sick. But anyway, really happy to be here. Very excited about the event. So one of the things that I look at is, instead of feeling like a victim, which puts us in a state of being out of control, I like to look at what could we do different. So one of the things that we do at idpsolutions.org is we build bridges that interact with the system. And the reason we do that is so that you can remain in your sovereign capacity. So the idea of this is undoing all the contracts with the system, creating other entities to interact. And this is the same whether it's children. You can do it a little bit later once they turn 18. It's really good if they get off to a really good start. And, with instead of getting driver's licenses, instead of entering into that world of contracting with the system, that they learn to interact at arm's length. And so that's kind of what my focus is going to be on, keeping them out of the system, getting out of the system, looking at the mental construct, understanding what the mental construct is, how you can interact with it without being part of it.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, beautiful. No, we're looking forward to it, because it's the state is a tool of tyranny that the cabal uses. So how to learn about the courts, learn about the contracts, because in a voluntary society, every contract is going to be voluntary. If we choose to interact, then we'll interact. If we don't want to, that's fine. As long as you don't aggress against me and my property, and I don't do that to you, everything's going to be totally peaceful and harmonious. So thanks for joining us on the stage there. And I think that's what we have, unless, Christoph, you want to share a little bit what maybe you and your wife might be sharing about?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, David. What I'd like to speak, I think we're going to speak about first, and the first piece of it is integrating new souls into Earth. Obviously, the birthing portal is a very sacred space, and some of the strategies that you can do for integrating the consciousness of the being that's coming into the physical form. There's a beautiful technique called the lotus birth we'll be sharing about. We brought all of our children in through the lotus template. That is when you don't cut the umbilical cord. You allow the umbilical cord to be stayed attached to the child until the child is ready to let go. And what happens is that in our case of our children, Noah, they're about 5 days, our daughter about 3 days, and then they start to get rid of the umbilical cord themselves. The umbilical cord is connected into the organic tree of life, and that is the full 12th dimensional consciousness spectrum of our universe. So when that umbilical cord gets cut, that is literally the severing, and right there, the first wounding of separation and abandonment. And then, of course, we'll start to go into the soul psychology of different ages of the children as they progress through their stages of life, how the chakras are being holographically imprinted, and how the woundings being set up in the auric field then start to create the constellation of wound, which is created by an unmet need, how the belief gets formed, and then how then from that belief the thoughts and feelings and perceptions get formulated, and how as a parent you can start to energetically and consciously work the environmental conditions to ensure that you're not creating so much fragments in consciousness, and are establishing a more full stream for your child so that they can be well grounded and well integrated. If there's a lot of fear, anxiety, and arguing in the household, it's difficult for the child's consciousness to come down and for that first energy center and chakra to ground and root. And that causes the fear of the unknown in the future. So therefore, it becomes more difficult for them to follow their heart because they don't feel safe in the unknown. So the objective here is to how do we create that safety in the unknown? How do we create certainty in uncertainty for our children? And that is becoming more energetically intelligent. So we'll be giving those strategies and awarenesses of the soul psychology of evolution of your child's consciousness through to about when they're about 18 to 20 years of age.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've heard of Lotus Birth. I don't know anything about that, but we do know that the mainstream hospitals is, again, another racket, with all these shots.
Yeah, that is a system of the mainframe to create fragmentation of the child's consciousness. Basically, it's a very well-engineered system, and the cutting of that cord. If you look at indigenous cultures, it's always been that the most sacred of items has been the placenta, and how that is actually their energetical twin. And the first wounding is when they get separated from that twin, the only being they've ever known for those first 9 months. So it's a very well-engineered system. And so we're big proponents of home birth and the loving support of bringing children into the world in that way. And, of course, everything that you're doing with homeschooling and the beautiful sacred containers of the family being the absolute bedrock of a more highly evolved species. So we look forward to sharing our own direct experiences and insights with those that feel aligned to learn. Absolutely. Yeah, so if somebody's watching this live or later, write down some questions. You're hearing from some of the top people on planet Earth, high consciousness, solution-focused. Like Jeff Berwick mentioned in the beginning, we're angry, saying, fuck the government. That's all righteous. But once we realize we are the solution, I got to take a look in the mirror. We invite you guys to take a look in the mirror. And you can learn from other people, borrow from their expertise, borrow from their decades of experience. And whether you agree with the 50% or 1% or 100%, it doesn't matter. We just understand that coercion is the enemy, and voluntary relationships, voluntary interactions is the future. That's what I believe. I think that's what many of the community members here and producers also are putting their efforts into. And so I think that's the essence of the family camp stage. I guess the conclusion is that we want to create intergenerational freedom, and you guys are all invited to come along. And I'm super excited as a producer and as someone who's going to be speaking there as well. I'm really excited and looking forward to meeting you all in real life.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. And thank you, everybody, for your great energy and all the awesome things you're bringing to the table. Really love it. Want to just finish up some stuff here. We have one more stage to talk about and a couple other little things, and we'll open up the floor if there's any questions. The TDV Summit is an extra ticketed item. It'll be on February 11th and 12th, as we mentioned before. This will feature a talk from Jeff Berwick and Ed Bugos, who a lot of people who are following the TDV will know about. It's their analysis and their insight on what's happening in the marketplace with the pending doom of the dollar, what's happening with other commodities like silver and gold, and of course talking about crypto. We've got Doug Casey, we've got Sherry Peel-Jackson, we've got Anthem, Blanchard will be talking. We've got Colin Kettle and Michael Cobb and Mark Emery will be speaking. I think Mark Emery actually is on our call. Mark, are you still on the call, and would you be open to saying hello and giving a brief about what you'll be talking about? We might have lost him. I don't know. But Mark Emery is also a partner. He's got Monaco Holdings. He talks extensively about being a PT. For anyone who doesn't know what a PT is, it's sort of the old school, new version of the digital nomad. It's being a perpetual traveler, how to have multiple passports, or how to stay traveling and enjoy sort of financial freedom to be anywhere in the world that you want to be. So I want to just acknowledge Mark. I'm sorry that we didn't get to him sooner, but appreciated that he made it to the call and that he is a speaker and a partner. He'll also be hosting a workshop. So very excited about this lineup for the TDV. It's a very important part of what the work of Jeff is, and bringing financial freedom and getting us out of the financial system, getting us out of financial enslavement. So this is a very important component to what we're doing with Jeff's work and with Anarchapulco. So speaking of our partners, I'd like to take a moment, maybe I'll welcome Victoria Clements, who is on our team. She is the director of our partnerships. Victoria, would you mind taking a moment to acknowledge at least I know we have a lot of partners here, but just our top 6 partners would be great. And I think Darlene is on the call. She might have a chance to say hello if you throw it to her.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be real quick. Fabulous. I love this. It's so great to see everybody. And as Jessica said, in the first place, really, we can't do Anarchapulco without the support of all these fabulous people coming on board and being our sponsor partners. So we are so grateful for them. We got ECI back with us again. That's Michael and Rachel. They're fantastic. They own a development company. And they talk about second residencies. They've got properties in Belize, Costa Rica, Panama, Argentina, Nicaragua, and the information those guys have when they arrive is great, and their booth is really visited all the time. Of course, we got our Free Talk Live. Ian and Mark are back. They're always exciting. You'll see them set up. They may even haul you over, maybe do a bit of a podcast there in the spot. They cover everything for us while we're there. They do the live coverage and grab everybody. We have Gold Money coming on board with us for the first time. We're excited to see them. They're all about physical gold and silver bullion. And we have Perpetual Assets with Will and Gus. Gus has got something he's cooking up. It's going to be great. And they specialize in all sorts of things to do with consulting and finances and retirement plans and stuff like that, but in a really exciting way. They're with us for the 5th year, so they're very excited. Will's bringing his family, so he can't wait. As Jessica mentioned, Mark Emery, I don't know if Mark's still on here or if he managed to get on, but Monaco Management Group, strategic international business and financial solutions company, and as Jessica was saying, PT, and his talk is very exciting. I'm hoping I actually get to watch it this year. We've got Darlene on board with Carrot Bars, so we're hoping to get her to talk a little bit more about that, so I'm not going to say anything about that. Of course, our other partners that are involved. We want to do a real big shout out for Network Newswire, who's come on board with Cryptocurrency Wire and Cannabis Newswire. They're one of our larger media partners. We've actually got twice as much media on this year than we had last year as well. So tons of podcasts, tons of newsletters, tons of press releases. We're out everywhere. So really impressed with everybody that's come on board this year. As you can see, there's quite a few. We've got quite a few more that we're doing our final details with. So hats off to all our sponsor partners. We can't do it without you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, awesome. Thank you for that. And I just want to give a little shout out. We do have a couple legacy charity partners I want to acknowledge. The Marsh Children's Foundation is a home for children just outside of Acapulco. that Jeff has been a supporter of for a long time. For those who don't know, Jeff is actually married to a woman from Acapulco. So we try to, give back to the community wherever we can. And his charity of choice is the Marsh Children's Foundation. We do actually a special day at Anarchapulco where we bring all the children from the home, which is about 60 children, and we treat them to a day at the pool and by the beach. We do a little Bitcoin introduction to them. We do a little computer introduction to them. We have a couple speakers speak to them about being entrepreneurial, and we have a really nice day with them, including children from the family camp and children, so those are children from all over the world, plus the children from Mexico. It's a really special thing that we get a chance to do. And Victoria really has hit it out of the ballpark last year. It was really successful, and the children were just so grateful. So we're really happy to be able to do that. And the DV project is part of that. The guys from that, they bring some laptops. They do a little introduction to, how to use the computer and the power of the internet. And, we really are looking for an opportunity to teach these children also, or share with the children from Mexico, the power of the internet and what the future can bring for them. Not that it's any of our business to say that their future is bleak, but there's a lot of tools that can be, accessible now from the internet for someone to have a career from anywhere in the world. I myself, have been in like 30 countries in the last 2 years, working from different places, as a lot of people on this call are. So, it's an opportunity for us to share with other people who don't have the same information to understand that there is possibilities. And then this year, we're also going to be featuring Richard Gage's 9/11 Foundation, which is to educate people about the truth of 9/11. So he'll have a booth there. So when he's not on the stage, he'll be there to talk about what's happening in the world and information you can get from there. And then, where we can, we like to support other Mexican-based businesses. We have a partnership with Verde Vegan, who is a vegan restaurant started by 2 young Mexicans, a couple who live in Acapulco. They're really bright people, lots of love what we're doing. They actually closed down their restaurant for like the week and rebuild it on the property to feed us healthy food and juices. So we're happy to have them back. Our opening night concert is going to be at the Palladium. It'll actually be off the property, and the Palladium is run by 2 young guys who had an American mother and an Acapulcan father. The father started a restaurant called Tony's Bistro, which if you are coming early, staying late, or venture off the property, we highly recommend going to Tony's Bistro. The food is amazing. The view is awesome. Plus, we like to give a shout out to Ovation. I don't know if Luigi's still on the call. He's a busy man, but Luigi is one of the pillars of our team. He makes all the trains run on time. He's our audiovisual guy. He builds out the stages and makes sure that the lights run. And his company is from Mexico City. So we really like to bring in as much of the local flavor as we can, and appreciate that the Mexicans are so welcoming to us and are open to working with us. Of course, our host hotel is the Princess Hotel. And another little shout out to Michael Nimitz, who's on the call, and Anarchapulco 24/7, 365, which for anyone who has extra questions about being in Acapulco, should direct them to Michael, because he's really great at getting back to everybody. So I'm just going to go through a couple extra things that we have this year. I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we're going to have the Revive Health and Wellness Clinic. This is basically our version of a walk-in clinic. It's going to be on for the whole 10 days. It's going to be in the health and wellness area, which is going to be at the bottom of the Perla Hotel in what's called the Oceans Rooms. One of the rooms will be dedicated to having 10 booths to feature the 10 alternative health practitioners. We're going to have stem cell therapy. We're going to have vitamin drips. We're going to have acupuncture. We'll have laser therapy. We have muscle testing. There's all kinds of different components that are going to be available. We're even going to have an astrologist. So you can check out our website. In the menu bar, there is a button for the Revive Clinic. You should check that out. You can pre-book your appointments now. So if you're looking to schedule out your 10 days, you can go ahead, check out the different practitioners that are listed there, and then you can contact them through the website, simply an email or a phone call, and book your time with them. If you don't get a chance to book your time in advance, we will have a sort of a receptionist there on site who will be able to navigate you and help you get a time if you just want to walk in. But this is something we're really excited about. It's being spearheaded by Matthew Buckley, Dr. Matthew Buckley. He's putting it all together. He sponsored this with his company, Divine Biome. So we're really excited. More information will be coming out in the next 2 weeks about all the different practitioners, but we really want to make sure everybody knows about this because we think it's going to be a real added value to our event this year. And then just to go through this, I know like with the growth of Anarchapulco and all the different things that we're doing, the ticket process could be a little bit confusing. We're working as much as we can with our web team to make things easier and better. You know, it's just we're a team sort of volunteers trying to make it all happen as best we can. So, you know, basically to come to Anarchapulco for the 4 main days, we ask that everybody has at least, you know, their adult ticket. Then, you know, we encourage you to bring a buddy, a friend, a lover, a spouse, you know, a visiting body, whatever. And we encourage you to bring them at a $100 discount if you get the buddy ticket. So if you have an adult ticket, you can get a buddy ticket. Then we've spent a lot of time talking about the family unit, and whatever you envision your family as, we encourage you to bring your children. And because we really believe that the future is based on raising free-thinking individuals from the children's perspective, we invite you to bring them for free. We just ask that you tell us how many children you're bringing so that we can plan accordingly and make sure everybody's included. And then we're very excited this year. Our opening concert is going to be Vinnie Paz and Jedi Mind Tricks. So if you missed getting a chance to see Vinnie speak with Jeff, you can catch him on Anarcast, on the YouTube channel for Anarcast. Great music. We're you know, sharing the music through our social media. We highly encourage you checking out some of his past work. It's really mind-boggling, and we're really excited to have him featured in our opening concert. Again, that's included in your ticket, but we ask you to book your ticket for the opening concert so we can book the transportation, because this will be off property. We'll provide busing that'll take you to the location and bring you back. And the location is the Palladium Concert, and it's, again, a really beautiful facility, amazing sound, and a great view. Then we have the TDV tickets. Again, there's the adult ticket. We encourage you to bring a buddy. And then this year we will be having the TDV Gala Dinner. That will be the evening of the 11th. And that is also an additional ticketed item, just so you know. For those who want to join us for both TDV and Anarchapulco, this year we're doing a package deal called the Whole Enchilada. So if you want, you can get a TDV ticket and an Anarchapulco ticket for $7.89. Or if you want to bring a buddy and get 2 of each, there's the discounted price of $14.97. So all these tickets are available on our ticket page. Plus, we've been talking about live streaming and our video packages. You can also see that on our tickets page. The live stream is available now for you to purchase, and the prices keep increasing. So the earlier you get your live streaming tickets, the better. The main the main video package will not be available until after Anarchapulco has happened. It'll be released on February 20th. However, if you already have a ticket to Anarchapulco or to TDV, you can go ahead and get the early bird price on the videos. It's exclusive only to TDV, and Anarchapulco ticket holders. So that was in response to last year, people feeling like they missed out when they were trying to hit every stage all at the same time and couldn't be in all the places all at the same time. So hopefully that makes everybody happier this year. Plus, we talked about the, we talked about the retreats. We highly encourage you checking out the retreats on the ticket pages. If you click on the images, they will bring up a whole breakdown of what each retreat looks like and who's participating. So we highly encourage you to check out both of those if you want to come early or stay late. This is a great way to stay part of the community and participate. Plus, we have a couple fun events that will be happening as part of Anarchapulco. We'll have the Welcome Fiesta on February 12th. So the night before, if anyone's coming before the 13th, we encourage you to come down by the pool, have some cocktails, have some tacos. That is also an extra ticketed event, and you can get that on our ticket page. Plus, the Turtle Party is returning. The Turtle Party is produced by Howard Lichtman and his team, and the tickets for that should be on sale probably in the next week or so. So the ticket party will be returning. That also is off-site, and he organizes the transportation to the Turtle, what is it? Not the Turtle Preservation Park.
Yeah, sanctuary, yeah.
Yes, the Turtle Sanctuary. Thank you, David. Plus, we're going to have some VIP dinners. Every night we're going to host a dinner. It'll be on the property. That will be announced probably the first week of January, but we encourage you to keep your eyes open for that. The February 14th will be the dinner with Dr. Ron Paul. Dr. Ron Paul will speak on the 14th, and then we will host our dinner with him. That will be a limited dinner, so when we announce that, you'll want to get on that as quickly as possible if you want to join him for the dinner. Plus, we're looking to plan a gala dinner that will open up to everybody to attend on February 15th. We're looking to have some fun programming with that, so stay tuned for that. The VIP dinners are also all secondary ticket items, so all of that is available on our ticket page. Plus, we're going to have our ceremonies again this year. We're going to have the tiger ceremony, the jaguar vision, and the blue deer. So the tiger is the ayahuasca, which will be on the 10th, 12th, and 16th. Then a jaguar vision is the 5-MeO DMT, which is on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then blue deer will be on February 11th, and that's the peyote. So jaguar is only about 4 hours. Meanwhile, the ayahuasca and the peyote will start in the evening and go until the mornings. And each of these ticket items, you can click on the picture. It'll give you more details. You can pick which day you'd like to go. Again, each of these ceremonies only has a limited number of people, and every year they sell out. And our ceremonies, again, are hosted by Lila Vega, who's been our shaman for the last 3 years. He is, again, bringing some fabulous elders and shamans from other communities around the world. You can read about them, again, when you click on the pictures. We really set out to create a safe and enjoyable experience for everybody that wants to participate in a ceremony. Whether it's your first time or you've done it before, Leela is just really caring and empathetic, and safety is his first concern, and making sure that people really get the healing from these amazing plant medicines from them. So really excited to have Leela on the team again this year. All these tickets are now available on our site, so if you're wanting to participate, I suggest getting those sooner rather than later, because they will sell out. And then we have our workshops. We're working on finalizing all those details over the next couple days. We'll have all the workshops listed, ideally ASAP, but probably by the first week of January. So just so everybody knows about that. Here's a quick map of the property. You can see this map on the FAQ section of our website. The FAQ section is new this year. We highly recommend checking out all the questions there. I've highlighted just a couple places because the property is quite big. So this is if you driven up from the main road and you're facing the water. On the right-hand side is the Perla Tower, which is one of the towers that houses people. If you want to book a room, we've divided it up into the Perla, the Pyramid, which is over top of the lobby, and the Princessa, which is beside the Expo, which is where our main stage will be. But the Perla is where the Oceans rooms are. It's where all the health and wellness activities will be, and where the family camp will be. So that will be in the Oceans area. The lobby features a welcome desk where we'll have volunteers who will be there to answer any questions, help you get registered. The Pyramid is also one of the areas of the hotel where you can book your rooms. And then the Princessa is where our production office will be. It's one of the towers which will be housing people. If you want to be close to the main hall, we highly suggest being in that tower. The Crypto Poco stage and the TDV stage this year are going to be in the Atlantis Salon, which is last year was also our movie theater. It's beside the gym that's on the property. So that will be an area of activation and action. If you haven't gotten your hotel room yet, we highly suggest getting it sooner rather than later if you want to stay in the action. The hotel sells out every year, so we do recommend, if you want to stay in the action again, that you do it sooner rather than later. We've had all kinds of feedback about staying on the property from it's easier, it's convenient, it's fun, it's where everybody's staying, everybody's hanging out, having a good time until late hours in the morning. I know David and Catherine can attest to that. So this is a little bit of a map. We highly suggest people sort of be a little familiar with it before you get to the property, just so that you don't get lost, because it's quite big. But we'll have lots of signs and lots of people to help you get around. And then the last thing I just wanted to, or the last two things I'll mention before we give 10 minutes of open floor questions and sort of wrap up our talk for today, is the stateless store. I'll turn on my camera again in a second, but right now I'm wearing a hat, an Anarchapulco hat. We're really excited about all the merchandise that we have available now. We've got t-shirts and sweatshirts. We've got water bottles, pens, notebooks, all kinds of fun swag. Kelsey, again, our designer from our team, has done a tremendous job at creating all of these wonderful pieces, and we're working to adding new stuff every month. Fun quotes, different anarchist sayings. So keep your eye out on our store. And my last slide is shouldn't be such little font, but really this is probably the most important slide of all of it. The world that we all envision doesn't happen if we don't do our part. And Anarchapulco is really a place to get involved. And you can, as a voluntarist society, we encourage you to get involved as little or as much as you want. On our website, under Get Involved, there are different options. You can volunteer, you can participate by hosting a workshop, you can be a performer, you can be part of the media. There's all kinds of different ways to get involved. We're open to hearing everything and all suggestions. We just welcome any participation on any level, and we're doing our best to coordinate with everybody so that everybody feels loved, and that everybody feels respected and feels honored in that. I did skip over one last thing, the marketplace. Speaking of performers, we're going to turn the Fiesta patio, which is the patio across from the Chula restaurant, It's sort of in this, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but in this little green area. We're going to have that every single night. It's going to be our focal point. We're going to have a marketplace for anyone who is in the community who does crafts or has sort of a vendor table. If you have organic oils or soaps, or if you make some sort of craft, or if there's something you'd like to vend, this is where we invite you to participate. Victoria and Alma Summer are running that space, and at night at 9 o'clock to 11, we're going to have an open mic, and we're going to invite anybody who is a performer. If you want to do a rant off, if you want to do a spoken word, if you want to pick up the guitar, if you want to sing, do an interpretive dance, we welcome you to come and participate in the open mic area. That'll be every night from 9 to 11. So I know we've spent a lot of time, we've covered a lot of ground. We're all just, hopefully the number one thing you garner from this conversation today is just how excited everybody is to participate, and how visionary everybody is, and how dedicated everyone is to sharing how to live the best independent and sovereign life you can live. And I just feel so blessed to be part of Anarchapulco, to have this as my mission in life now, to help share this information with everybody around the world. I'm so grateful for the whole team that we have. I'm excited about all the speakers that we have. I'm just so enthralled that everybody took the time to be on this call today and share. If anyone wants to raise their hand or put a question in the chat, if anyone has any questions, if there's anything that we missed, now is the time to ask.
I think we missed Darlene saying a couple of things, if she's still on the line.
I don't see Darlene here. But I see, let's see.
Just while people are drumming up their questions, Jessica, I just want to share. I said 2 months. We're actually about 1 month away, 30 days effectively for like the airfare, hotel, like you mentioned, the ceremonies sell out, some of the parties sell out. So it's really that time to kind of make a decision if you're thinking about it, because these things go away. And I've missed a couple ceremonies, missed some parties, missed some VIP dinners. I'm like, because I'm thinking about it, and it's naturally there's economics involved, and it's like, which way do I spend this money here and there? So maybe take some time and think about, if you're coming or you think about coming, to see how you want to, purchase your tickets, what do you want to participate in, and for sure the airfare. I would keep an eye on the airfare the next couple of weeks and kind of see. I had a friend who was thinking about it like last week, and he said like the last few days it went up like $100 or something. So now he's waiting again. So it's kind of a waiting game. So it's just something to think about as the purchase decision in the next 30 days is almost here.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. That's a great reminder. Michelle, I hate to put you on the spot, but I wonder if you wouldn't mind sharing. Do you have any questions? We've just covered a lot of ground, but I think you're a first-time attendee. Is there anything that you feel like we missed out on?
No, I have a really good sense of what's going to happen, and it's been an honor to see some of the speakers and the people that are involved, and get more of an idea of sort of like the vibe that everybody has. I think everyone brings something really unique to the group, and I'm just super excited to be here and to see it unfolding. So I actually was messaging Christoph, just asking him a few questions, and he sent me an article that was really cool, and can't wait.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your participation and for letting me put you on the spot. I just wanted to make sure that we're covering all the ground for all the new voices. And maybe just before we go, I'll also put Michael Nimitz on the spot. Any questions or any comments from you, Michael? And thank you for your support and for being here.
Thank you, Jessica. And I'm very happy and excited to see everybody coming down Acapulco is my favorite place on the planet, and I've lived here since the first Anarchapulco. I absolutely love it. I welcome people to come down early and stay late, and make the most of it. And we absolutely want to make you feel like this is your family. We're gonna make this as welcoming and as comfortable as possible. So come down and enjoy yourself, because it will be awesome. I guarantee it.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Michael, again, for your continued support and for being a resource for people who want to stay longer or who have questions about moving to Acapulco. There's actually quite a big expat community that's been that's arrived there since Acapulco. There's some people who went to Acapulco and then never left. So there's some really great stories out there of people from our community. And so I just want to say thank you again to everybody for being on this call, for staying the whole time, from everyone from like Richard and TJ and Becca and, some of the great speakers that we have from our partners like Darlene and Mark, who made it. I see Trina's on the call, and Les, plus all these great guests that, or visitors or attendees that joined us on the call. We really appreciate your energy and support and being here, for spreading the word, for being part of the community, and for coming to Anarchapulco. I'd also like to just say a thank you again to the team, everybody that made it on the call, Luigi and Victoria and Mike, and then, of course, Catherine, Angel, and David. I'd love it if maybe you had any final words. I'll call on each of you. Angel, did you have any final comments or goodbyes you'd like to share?
Yeah, thank you everybody for coming on today and exploring with us what Anarchapulco is going to offer to you all. I cannot stress enough how much we need to take care of ourselves and to not let these motherfuckers get us down, right? Like, we need to come together. We need to play. I don't want to think about the state all of the time. I want to evolve past the state. And I think from what I'm hearing everyone talk about, it's how we can become better, how we can grow, how we can evolve into the people who don't need to look at the state or even think about the state. So I'm super happy. Jessica, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me be a part of all of this. Thank you for all of everything that you do, because you guys, Jessica is like the wizard. She is managing a million different things, and she does it with such grace. So thank you so much, and for including us in all of this, for helping to build it up, because what we are doing, what we're all doing together is really special.
Well, thank you. And I'm by means no wizard. I'm just the crazy cat over here, helping keep all the details sorted in one way or another and trying to do the best job. And it's all because I couldn't do this. No one man can do this. So, we have a big vision here, and it takes all of us to do that. And you're a big part of it, as is David. And so, David, any final words or comments from you? You have such great energy. I'd love for you to share that on the way out the door.
Yeah, no, I think what Michelle said is correct. Everybody brings their own contribution, and that's what's so unique about each of us. Our DNA is unique, our entire being, our personality, our voice. There's so much uniqueness. So to find that and then to spread that from freedom, I think is exciting. Last year, the slogan was Life Unchained. This year, it's evolved. And next year, it's a secret, but we've already been working on something. So just understand there's future things that are coming. And from Anarchapulco, there was an event in Arizona called Anarcha Arizona. There's been Anarcha Vegas. There's been Anarcha Adelphia. We encourage you to start your own. And so there's a place on the website called Anarchy Everywhere. So to empower you as an individual, what Larkin Rose and Amanda be doing, talking about candles in the dark. We're all candles. We light each other's candles and we go spread the light. We don't get rid of darkness by fighting darkness. We create the light. And that's what you are. That's what I am, I believe. And so looking forward to seeing you very soon. And I hope you come down there and have some fun on the beach, the pools, the parties, and start learning some stuff, maybe do some business, whatever your interests are. But I think there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of community building, and you're part of something that truly is visionary. And I hope you come and join us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. Such great words. And I'm just so thankful for your contribution to the team, and your energy and thoughtfulness just is really, it's awesome. I so appreciate it. Catherine, any last words from you? Thank you so much for all that you're doing, for being a fabulous mom, a fabulous co-producer, managing the health and wellness, and keeping me sane.
Thank you, Jessica. It's really been an honor to be a part of this year's Anarchapulco, and I'm just really excited to see everybody down there. I'm going to be driving down, so if anyone is wanting to caravan, send me a message on Facebook and I'll let you know the dates and where we're driving from. I really enjoy the drive through Mexico. I love Acapulco. I love the Princess Hotel. We're going to be staying a little bit after the event as well, just to unwind and stay in this beautiful community that we love so much. I highly encourage everybody to get involved with the workshops and the practitioner space. And if you can do it, come to one of the opening or closing retreats. It's going to be a really transformational experience. I know that Anarchapulco has been a huge part of my evolution, and I'm really excited that that's this year's theme, because I think that is the journey we are all on together, and I look forward to seeing where it ends up.
I have a question. This is Jan. I was just wondering, will you comprise a listing of all those people that will be either coming early or staying late after the 10 days, so that, you know, people that didn't get a chance to hang around or speak with them can kind of touch base with them? I'm like, all the residual people that are going to hang around, is that going to be available? Or
that's a great question. What we have right now sort of facilitating that is our Facebook group. And then also there's the Anarchapulco Facebook group, but then there's also Anarchapulco 24/7, 365, which, you know, sort of the 365 tends to talk about more of the people that are in the community. So that's kind of the place that we sort of drive people to. If they're going to stay, come early or stay later, we suggest sort of starting with Michael Nimitz, because then he's, you know, will introduce you to other people that are in the community. He tends to be sort of the light pole for that. And also our Telegram is quite active with people who are constantly talking about coming early and staying late. So those are good places to be connected.
Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. All right. One last note is, so this is part of Conversations in Anarchy, and this is our 12th week. You can see all our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, so youtube.com/Anarchapulco. There's been some really great topics, some really great people participating. You know, feel free to go and check that out. The next 2 Tuesdays we're going to take off because it's the holidays. TJ, get the kiss. We're going to take 2 weeks off because of the holidays, and then we'll be back in January, and then we'll be off for February because of the event. And then we're discussing how the future of Conversations in Anarchy is looking. But if you guys like it and you keep wanting to participate, it looks like we're going to want to keep doing it, and that will be back up in March. So, yes, so that's it. There's lots of information on our website, on anarchapulco.com. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. What a great afternoon. Thank you so much. We know it's late around the world for some of the people that participated. We've had lots of people stay for the whole 2 hours. And we're just, just so excited about what's happening for Anarchapulco this year. And we're so excited to see everybody there. So with that in mind, I will say peace, love, and anarchy. Have a great night. Happy holidays to everybody. See you in February.